Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss the give and take policy versus the concept of reciprocity. After gathering the necessary information, I was finally able to write about the give and take dynamic, which I have wanted to do for a long time. Life is about give and take is a common idiom that most of us are aware of and believe in, isn't it? While I apply my perception of this policy in a way that I believe is right, you may live your life and apply yours in a way that you believe is right. However, many may not know the true meaning or the underlying principles of this concept. Based on my understanding, any kind of healthy relationships in this world are ideally balanced by blending the informal flexibility of give and take with the formal expectation of reciprocity. Reciprocity is a multifaceted and enduring principle found in all species and in nature. While the informal concept of give and take fosters harmonious cooperation and compromise in relationships, reciprocity at its core is the mutual exchange of benefits, obligations, or treatments that ensures a fundamental sense of fairness and mutual accountability. Humans, however, engage in more complex, cognitively demanding forms of calculated and indirect reciprocity involving reputation and social norms. The nature of this exchange, whether conditional or unconditional, varies depending on the specific context, the type of relationship involved, and the perspective being applied. For example, evolutionary biology suggests that generosity might lead to an unspecified third party helping you later without a direct expectation of a return from the original recipient. This concept is known as indirect reciprocity. The core idea is I help you and somebody else helps me. Furthermore, from an ecological perspective, indigenous cultures operate with reciprocity with nature. They recognize that if they care for the land and its resources, the land will continue to care for them. This concept covers a wide spectrum from strict calculated conditional exchange to generous long term support. The evolutionary and biological perspectives view reciprocity as an adaptive survival strategy driven by natural selection, not just a moral human choice. For an instance, the tit for tat strategy and emotions like gratitude and guilt regulate fair exchange or punish cheaters. When it comes to philosophical perspective, the golden rule, often referred to as the ethic of reciprocity, is merely the universal moral maxim: do not do unto others what you would not want done to you. In spiritual and religious traditions, reciprocity often transcends simple human exchange, encapsulated by phrases like reap what you sow or the law of reciprocity. The belief suggests that positive or negative energy and actions will return in greater measure and not necessarily from the original recipient. In anthropology, where the concept of reciprocity originated, as well as in sociology and psychology, generalized reciprocity or unconditional giving is explained as being driven by trust and unconditional positive regard in closed long term relationships or sense of moral obligation. Hence, reciprocity is a multifaceted concept viewed through various perspectives in a wide array of fields to understand and predict behavior, build relationships, and influence actions, including family dynamics. Therefore, it's categorized into three areas. First one is generalized reciprocity or unconditional give and take policy. The other one is balanced reciprocity, it's conditional, and the negative reciprocity, the last of which represents conditional exchange as well. In any case, the family is widely considered the foundation of society and the school of love, serving as the primary environment where individuals first learn their social skills, values, and norms. Applying give and take or reciprocal principles within the family circle is therefore crucial because these learned behaviors are then mirrored and amplified within the larger community and society. When it comes to generalized reciprocity or unconditional giving, the emphasis is on giving without the expectation of an immediate or specific return of equal value. This is common in close trusting relationships like family and marriage, where contributions are viewed as part of a long term mutual support system. For example, according to attachment theory, a child does not earn love, it's given freely, forming the template for future relationships built on trust. This allows for unconditional positive regard, accepting people as persons of value, but not for what they can provide in return, fostering self esteem and emotional security, and contributing to the family and the society not out of a need to repay a debt, but out of genuine care and a sense of belonging. Although a child cannot reciprocate the time and emotional sacrifice of parents or guardians in equal measure once he is grown up anyway. However, contributing back to the family or guardians with compassion and gratitude is deeply personal and subjective, depending on their positive or negative perception of the relevant individual, and it cannot be forced. For example, once a son is grown up, he may say to the biological mother that it's very much unlikely you will be a part of where I would reach. Hence, some recipients in family dynamics may lack the insight to focus on positive aspects or contributions, or they may be unable to cultivate gratitude or politeness due to internal or external episodes and circumstances as well as influences, or an inability to recognize that their emotions, thoughts, and actions have consequences. For instance, failing to show gratitude, compassion, or accountability, or preventing others from doing so, is considered a sign of poor character or results in being an outcast according to cultural, moral, and religious mandates. The inadequacy of these fundamental performances may be caused by or may lead to a host of developmental and emotional problems. These problems often persist, causing individuals to struggle with balanced reciprocity and leading to negative reciprocity throughout their developmental stages. In relation to balanced reciprocity or conditional give and take, it is a voluntary system of exchange built on social norms. It cannot function effectively in a vacuum where the essential human elements of trust and empathy are missing. You may have heard the idiom, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. This also represents the balanced reciprocity or direct or calculated reciprocity. Though the foundation of family is unconditional love, healthy relationships also rely on elements of balanced or conditional reciprocity to maintain fairness, mutual respect, understanding, and sustainability. This involves an expectation of a direct, roughly equal exchange within a specific time frame. However, challenges arise when individuals lack these qualities or are unwilling to cultivate them. For an instance, alternating chores, money management, childcare, and family care, giving gifts on occasions, and taking turns or dividing up household duties, etc. There are few key reasons why the members of a family struggle with balancing reciprocity within their dynamics. Conditional love in early childhood. If you clean your room, I will hug you. The child learns that love is a transaction, not a given. The affection is the reward. Functional attachments. Avoid attachments. Disorganized attachment styles profoundly influence how individuals give and take in adult relationships as they struggle with intimacy and vulnerability. This often manifests as authoritarian, manipulative, or other harmful personality traits, a form of negative reciprocity. Psychological conditions like megalomania, where a person has an inflated conception of self importance and delusions of superiority, which are symptoms of psychotic core personality disorders as well. Furthermore, cognitive deficits can significantly cause a failure in practicing reciprocity in a positive manner. This disrupts an individual's ability to trust self awareness, regulate emotions, and understand social cues, all of which are essential for a balanced give and take relationship. Challenges also may occur due to cultural or upbringing differences, a lack of socialization or experience, and deeply ingrained beliefs and behaviors, etc. So, as the external stresses such as financial hardships or life's transitions, these dynamics perpetuate a circle where healthy reciprocity cannot flourish. A lack of healthy family dynamics negatively impacts the development of crucial emotional skills. Members often struggle with emotional regulation and find themselves unable to manage resentment, which influences them to hold grudges for long periods. Consequently, they often fail to develop empathy and compassion for one another. This emotional deficit, in turn, severely affects communication skills and coping mechanisms of a person. It may lead to the development of a competitive mindset and pervasive tendency to compare one's family or self to others. These behaviors frequently result in the exploitation of individuals and the eventual breakdown of relationships. Ultimately, this circle leads to significant emotional and physical distance within the family unit. This distance manifests as members withholding essential emotional support, praise, or help around the house, and sometimes even actively blocking others from offering assistance. From a psychological perspective, the resentment or embarrassment an individual carries from childhood can very easily be projected onto immediate person or persons in their life, significantly disrupting healthy balance or generalized reciprocity in the family or social dynamics. For example, an individual may display anger or bullying behaviors stemming from past hurt onto a safe present target who was not responsible for the original pain. This creates a severely unbalanced environment where the victims may feel unfairly treated and emotionally and physically drained, and also experience resentment as a reactive response. This can create a vicious circle of mutual withdrawal and despair with each other, often leading to negative interactions and increasing cruelty, responding to a harmful action with a similar harmful action, often seen in the form of retaliation or punishment, returning insults, neglect, or harm, etc. Marriage and family are central to the legal system, defining legal rights and responsibilities related to marriage contracts. The anthropological perspective examines marriage rules and how cultural beliefs shape family life. This perspective addresses how negative reciprocity related to dowry and caste and intertwined to affect humans and family dynamics. It highlights how unequal exchange can devalue human dignity, where the demanding party often maximizes gain without considering the well being of the individual involved and accountability for the harm caused. For example, the contrast between marrying by choice and the devaluation of a woman's contribution to the family due to a lack of financial or material contribution is a clear case of human values being completely superseded by material and perceived caste based greed, where the woman is treated as a purchasable asset, violating marriage vows, which deeply impacts human lives and family structures across domains of existence, leads to serious harm and conflict. Since a healthy family dynamic relies on a spirit of give and take, driven by empathy and mutual support, rather than the cold calculus of commerce or strict expectation. It means that sometimes you give a lot and sometimes you need to take a lot, and everyone trusts that the overall balance will work out over the course of a lifetime without needing to keep a scorecard. Because this dynamic requires an underlying foundation of unconditional love and give and take, along with a healthy, transparent sense of reciprocity, where everyone feels their contributions are valued and supported in return. When an individual is guided by the principles of reciprocity and consciousness, the person is not far from the moral law. Whatever you do not wish for yourself, do not do unto others. Thank you, everybody. Let's meet in another episode. Don't let yourself be controlled by two things: people and past experience. And you can't be responsible for how others decide to treat you, because how they treat you is a reflection of themselves and that's their responsibility.